All right. This lovely image, number 5, is brought to us this evening by our panelist, Mark Devney. He's the photographer and submitted it. And the model is Amberlynn Brohair. Did I say her name
No,
right?
it's Stephanie Catherine.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Oh,
got that messed up. Okay. Um, I guess I'll take point on this one. I really like it. I love the high contrast shots. Right, it's a really powerful image. Speaks to me. I love the reflection, the metallics, the gold. Um, the wet hair look is very very appealing, and yeah, I'm really really liking that. A few things, in post processing. Uh, Looks like there might have been a few blemishes missed here and there. It's hard to tell at this scale, but that would be no. It might just be the edge of the makeup. I'm looking at the arms here now, where the gold kind of feathers out, and I'm thinking maybe what I'm seeing up here is just the gold not quite uh, covering areas, and it's probably not blemishes. I think it's just the layout of the gold paint. It's an awesome image. I really, really like it. The lighting is harsh lighting, but it kind of goes with the theme of this image. Um, yeah, I really like it. That's about it. I don't have a whole lot of things that I would change on this mark. It looks really good, but anyone have any other thoughts?
I think it's really creative. What Mark has been doing quite a few shoots with gold on the skin and in the hair. Like it. I'm wondering how you did it actually, because it kind of blends right into the skin and the hair, almost as if it's not quite liquid metal, but it's getting there. And I've shot Stephanie Catherine before, and she looks completely different in this image. So like I wouldn't have guessed it was her. So that's it's cool. It's cool. It's a new perspective for sure.
Yep, awesome. Mike, any thoughts on this?
100% kudos for creativity. I mean, the whole
Good on
concept of
me.
gold or whatever is very nice. Uh, my question is when you've got a concept like this, I always ask myself, what am I seeing? Is this sort of a statue type thing? Is this like what am I being told? And why the selection of the model of somebody with tattoos? Are the tattoos supposed to be part of the story? Or are they just, oh darn, I couldn't find another model, so I just picked one with tattoos? Like I usually try to cast my model to fit the theme or concept, and so there's an incongruity here that I'm trying to get my head around. But yeah, Stephanie Catherine is an amazing model. I've shot on a number of occasions, and yeah, as Francis says, I didn't recognize her, but it's just kind of like where the gold is and the way it's positioned and how it interacts with her body art. I'm struggling to find the meaning or significance, but I appreciate the originality.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
If I could add, in this image, when I said she looks like liquid metal, but she's still a person hair. But some of your other ones, they almost look like King Tut, like a mummy in gold,
Yeah.
like an image in gold of like a sarcophagus or something, or a mummified person. So anyway, it's a really creative concept.
Yeah. In this case, I like the way the gold feathers out in the arms. It looks like she's been dipped in gold. So her arms have been dipped, her hands have been dipped. Um, I really like the effect. Um, and I my daughters would tell you that I'm a liar, but I love body art, right? And I shoot a lot of models with tattoos, and so covering the tattoos with the gold. I don't think you went overboard with it. It's not like you were trying to hide the ink. They still show through, but you got that dipped in gold kind of a theme, a vibe going for it. So I'm not sure, you know, that I'm not offended by the tattoos or wondering, you know, should you or shouldn't you use a model with tattoos for something like this? Um, it's very creative. Kudos for creativity, you know, like Mike said. Mark, any thoughts you'd like to add? But I know this is your shot, so it's a little hard to pick on your own work.
I'm kind of known for being creative, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's because I've been trying to do. I originally started because it's part of my series of gold.
Yeah.
So I wanted to work with Stephanie for a very long time. I know she's a very talented model, and I wanted to try something out with tattoos.
Hmm.
So I thought I'd give it a shot, and she was totally on board. So actually, because people ask me about the gold, actually it's body paint that I
Hmm.
use with adhesive. So depending on the consistency, it can look like actually like gold. So it's actually leading up to what I'm gonna do eventually, probably in the spring or something, with a whole Egyptian shoot. Because a lot of my art is basically inspired by ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
So that's where the whole
Mm.
gold comes from. Where you see Bill with on the arms, that's because with this the kind of gold body paint, it interacts with hair on the hand,
Yeah.
and so that really sticks it out. So that's why you see all that kind of thing on the arms.
Yeah.
So I find spending a lot of time cloning that out.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's kind of for me with Stephanie was to do kind of like sunlight kind of thing. And with her, actually, it's the wet hair is actually the gold body paint that's in her.
Oh
She
wow.
just decided, yeah, she decided to put it on her hair, and I was kind of concerned, but she said she was totally gun ho with it, and I appreciated that. So,
Right on.
and we just, yeah, and she just dabbed it. That's the photo shoot that I did with Zara that was published in Vigor magazine
Yeah.
is in the same kind of style.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and I try to use the light to kind of highlight the gold,
Yep.
but it really punches out, to get it really contrasted. So.
Well, I really like it, and I love the fact the model, you know, is willing to go the extra mile. I did a shoot a couple of years ago with a lovely young lady that I've worked with a couple of times, Carrie, and we did a gold glitter shoot in a bathtub. So we filled the tub with milk. She did the bath shoot, then we threw the gold glitter on top. She told me later that she was digging gold glitter out of places that should not see gold glitter for weeks after the shoot. You know,
What
the models really put themselves out there for the sake of creative, you know, being creative, and my hat's off to them.
Yeah, she's one of the models I highly recommend to people. She's
Yep.
very,
Awesome,
yeah.
awesome. All right, okay, guys. Anything else? And whoop, I jumped one. Okay. Now, give me a second. There we go. All right, this image was submitted to us by the model, and the model's name is Taylor Ashley. I think she's been in the photography groups here for maybe a year or two that I've known about her. Um, Lovely looking lady. The photographer is Black Dynamite Photography. All right, Mike, will I hand this one off to you?
Okay, awesome. Well, this is clearly a really good use of window light. I mean, Ashley, she's not only a model, she's also an excellent photographer. So she understands light and posing. So she's got skill on both sides of the camera. But that aside, the photo here essentially, it's clear the subject gets your attention. The angle is not straight on, sort of at her eye level. It's looking down, and therefore gives it a little bit of added level of interest. The light on her face, on her body is obviously very nice. So there's a lot to like about the photo, and clearly Ashley submitting it herself, so she must like it. So, I'm loath to give it a lot of criticism. Actually, critique is probably the better word. So, as a photographer, she'll appreciate that there's a lot of light sort of on that arm, and I probably would have toned that down. A little bit of post-processing there wouldn't hurt, just to make sure the interest is clearly on the face and not going to her shoulder. There's a little bit of a hair elastic or something on her wrist, or maybe it's a watch band, I can't tell, but there's just a little bit of something missing there, and it's just one of those minor pieces of distraction. I like the fact that the window is visible, but there's a lot of distractions sort of with the window frame and whatnot. I'm not sure how I would deal with that. I might try cropping it, but if I crop it too much, then you're left with the illusion that there's a window or something here, but you're not don't quite see it. So I play with it as a photographer just to see what I could achieve. But other than that, pose-wise, I mean, certainly looking down is very attractive. It's very alluring. Her hand kind of so-so. I'm not sure if it's like I got to go pee-pee or it's very kind of sort of a funny position. Touching the window frame or whatever might have been just a little bit different. But certainly the photo has a lot of appeal, and you play with a lot of little things in post-processing or guiding the model. But it's best to pay attention to all the details when you're taking the photo. I hate coming back and seeing a photo where her bra strap is twisted or something like that. And I wish I would have caught that at the moment of the shoot rather than trying to fix it in post. But in this case, the hair seems to be in place, the bra straps are in good place. So attention was paid to detail, and kudos to both the model and the photographer for a successful shot.
Wonderful, wonderful. Anyone have anything they'd like to add? Francis, maybe? So just give me a nod.
I like that that it's lighter on the left side of the picture and it's darker on the right side, and that kind of gives it a 3D effect. So there's obviously depth to the picture, or the illusion of depth created by the variation in light.
I do like that as well, and the fall off is not really harsh. So lovely soft lighting, really really nice. Mark, any thoughts on this one, bud?
Well, for me, what bothers me pose-wise is the arm. I think maybe it could have been posted more on the hip. Again, personal opinion. I would say, for me, having her pose, it would be better maybe to pose on the window frame, because I find that the window kind of distracts me more than from her. And also the arm here, cropping out the arm right here, if I find that distracting, because I'm all about symmetry in with my photography. So personal opinion, I would say maybe we'll have more contrast with the background, but overall it's well shot. It's just little technical things.
Awesome. Okay, my thoughts on this. You sort of hit on it, but I want to just make sure to articulate it a little bit. It's the cutting off of the wrist, right? This was cropped just a little bit too tight. I would have liked to have saw the rest of the hand. I think Mike had pointed out that it looks like there's a wristband or maybe a watch band on there. It may just be the crease in her wrist as well. Hard to say, but cropping it there, you really don't know what that is, and it seems to be a bit abrupt. I haven't worked with Ashley yet, and so I don't know her, but I've seen some of her other work as well. She's got great curves, and this is a boudoir style shoot, and I'm of the opinion that you should show those curves. This arm coming down the way it is here is very straight, but it carries on, like it just kind of straightens the whole body out, right? You lose the curve. I would have liked to have seen her pull that elbow back a little bit to see the curve in her back and show that those feminine curves. I know I can see that she's trying to cover up here, and maybe that's why she didn't pull the arm back a little bit. That could have been done a little bit more gracefully and delicately. Mike touched on it a little bit, but or turn the hips so that you can't see. It's obviously it's a netted bottoms, so she's covering up her private parts, and that's fine. I would have rather she just turned slightly towards the window to cover that area, and then pull the elbow back so that I could see the S shape in her back. Other than that, I mean, it's lovely. The lighting is gorgeous. Makeup is gorgeous. That's all working for me. It's been mentioned about the window frame being a little bit distracting, and maybe, Anytime I've used a window like that for a boudoir glamour style shoot, I tend to try and get the reflection of the girl in the window. So I would have actually shot it from a slightly uh, different angle so that I could have got the reflection of her in the glass as well as a shot of her. Those are my thoughts. Anybody else before we move on?
The only other thought that occurred to me is when I have too much distraction from the window, a little piece of material, it doesn't have to be a curtain, but just some white flowy material just draped, even if it's duct taped to the window frame,
Yeah,
just to give something different there that takes away from all the detail of the window pane and the screen and the handle and so on.
yeah. It kind of screams vacant apartment, right? It's uh,
Yeah.
because there's no window dressing there. It just something unsettling about it. But like I say, lovely shot. The maker obviously captured her beauty. Just like I said, for me, when I'm shooting a boudoir style shoot, I want to see the girl's curves. The thing that makes girls different from boys are the curves, and that I would have tried to adjust the pose slightly to show those curves off. Okay,
I don't know if,
all right. How are we doing for time, guys? And not that I want to interrupt too much, but I didn't check the time when we started this time.
Yeah.
Are we good?
uh,
Yeah.
you're over your original allotment, I think.
We should have a countdown timer.
I thought you had
Is
one
everyone
going.
up to doing one more?
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Okay.
I thought you had one, a timer going.
I did the last time. I set my cell phone up. This time I forgot. But we had said 30 minutes, and it's 9 o'clock now. So I know we took a few minutes to get started. We're probably about 45 minutes into this.
Yeah.
But we are moving at a much better pace than we did last time. So
Yeah.
all right. This lovely image, number 7, was submitted by excuse me, the photographer. The photographer in this case is Taylor Ashley. Again, the model that we saw in the last photo is the photographer on this photo. And unfortunately, I did not get the model's name. Taylor assures me that it's a friend of hers that she shot with, and she's okay with showing the image. So, who have I not picked on lately? Francis, you get to take point on this one.
Okay. Excuse me. I like this image. And the thing I like about it, I like the way the model has her arms placed, is the hole in the canopy above her head that kind of looks like a halo, or
Yeah.
it's almost a religious photo because the light's coming down
Yeah.
Religious?
from above. Religious, almost like a
Religious.
religious
Yeah,
painting.
so it has an angelic quality, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I don't like is she's covered up by this bouquet of flowers in front of her. Like, is the picture? I mean, the model is the subject, and
Yeah.
I just find the flowers too distracting in front.
Yeah.
But yeah, beautiful model. Love the way her arms are, and the canopy thing is amazing.
The I guess I'll carry on with that as well. Yeah, it looks like it was a topless shoot, and that the model didn't want to be completely naked, and they put the flowers on there, but they really don't blend in with the environment, right? The color palette is very contradictory to what's going on in the scenery behind her and stuff. I think maybe a branch, if they had taken a branch with some leaves on it and maybe put that in front of her, it might have been a little better.
Or
I'm
just a piece of
not
fabric,
quite-
eh?
Sorry?
Just a piece of fabric, even.
A piece of
wrapped around.
fabric, but I mean, if you're outside in the woods, and the model is topless, and you want to do sort of an implied nudity thing, I don't think I would bring a bouquet of flowers with me to cover her up. I think I would look for something in the environment that blends with the environment, goes with I would have grabbed just a branch or a couple of branches from the nearby trees, and maybe handed that to her and had her hold it in a delicate way instead of stuffing it down the front of her pants, right? The Beautiful model, and the lighting is good. The colors, the photographer did a great job of capturing the exposure. The only thing, the flowers kind of bother me, and I'm not real crazy about where it's cropped. Right at just at the crotch level. Um, Again, we've mentioned composition and rule of thirds and all that kind of stuff before. I think that the photographer wanted to get that opening in the sky to give it that angelic quality, and perhaps she could have dropped down on one knee, or he, uh, sorry, black dynamite. Perhaps the photographer could have dropped down on one knee and shot up a little bit to get that angelic shot, and then would not have had to crop off, right in the thighs. Um, Cropping a little higher or a little lower would have worked better for me, I think. Okay, Mike, your thoughts, Mike?
Well, I chuckle because I'm listening to the comments, and I happen to remember when this was posted, and uh, when the photographer was out looking for models and saying, hey, there's this meme going around where we're doing this implied behind a bouquet, and who wants to come and play with me? And so the purpose of this shot was, in fact, to do a little bit of a daring kind of risque shot hidden behind flowers.
Oh.
So the flowers and the model are really the focus of the shot here. And so thinking back to what I understood the purpose of the shoot, I look at it from that perspective, and I see it as a very successful shot. So it's interesting because when you don't see the purpose of the shoot, then we're left with different assumptions.
Absolutely.
But, so it's intriguing. I probably I'm less thrilled with the angelic quality, and I would probably just crop it. Oh, maybe around here somewhere. Somewhere like that.
Yeah.
And that'd be perfect for Instagram, a nice little squarish type image. But that's kind of what I would do. The model's well engaged. She's looking comfortable, even despite the implied nudity.
Yeah.
And Ashley's done a good job with the lighting here. She's one who tends to shoot available light, and so she had to find a spot that had reasonable light, not too dappled, not too bright, so on and so forth. But yeah, I think she set out what she wanted to do, and I'm pretty sure she's very proud of this.
Excellent. Well, I didn't know the story behind it, so that's interesting. Now it makes a lot more sense. Mark, your thoughts, buddy?
Well, when I have intense highlights like this, what I have always had success is using a lens flare to make it, as you say, a more angelic.
Yeah.
This would benefit the image. However, what I like is the stream of lights here that come through the trees. That's very well captured.
Mm-hmm.
For this, I agree with you guys when you say about the flowers. If you wanted to make it more of a Grecian kind of theme, is maybe have like a bra covered with leaves, and have her waist like that too. That would work perfect for this idea. The bouquet just really distracts me, like you say, and the highlight here. But that could be intensified with the lens flare. So I think that would improve the image in my point of view. But other than that, I like how it's contrasted with the leaves. You can see a lot of information. Again, it's like what you guys say with the highlight. So
yeah. Well, I guess one of the lessons that I've learned here tonight is that I should try and get more information about the photo and the goals of the photo from the people doing the submission. I would have known a little bit more about this project and what the intention was. That's really terrific. Okay, guys, I really want to try and keep to our timetable and not go way overboard. We still have a number of images to go through. In fact, I think we've hit the halfway point. So I think we'll keep them in the queue for next time, and we will call it a night. I want to take the opportunity to thank all the group members who've submitted, and I will try and mention everybody in the description of this video when we share it on Facebook. We really appreciate it, and we value what you've shared with us here for the members to see us do the review on them. I want to take a minute to thank all of the panelists for their insights and for giving up their time on a Saturday night to do this for the group. I think that members will get a lot from this. Even if they don't submit images and just listening to the critique on other people's images, I think it's helpful, and that people will learn a little bit as we go along. And finally, I want to thank the viewers, the people that are watching this video right now. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch this, and I would love it if you could take a minute to like the video and maybe make some comments and give us some feedback on what we can do to make things better in the future. Okay, gentlemen, anything you want to add before I call it a day?
Just
Once again,
just to know that this is our opinion. It's not an absolute, we're not an absolute authority on photography. It's just our opinion.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
and any constructive criticism would be appreciated, and it's not like bashing people. So it's, we're all here to help each other and not insult each other. So
Yep. Well, I noticed today that somebody posted a link to a YouTube video, basically a slideshow of a famous photographer. I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce her name right, but it's Annie Lenowitz.
Leibowitz, yeah.
Annie
Did I get it
Leibowitz.
right?
Yeah.
Hey,
Leibowitz.
I took a few minutes and I went and looked at the video, and I've seen a lot of her work before. Amazing talent. But while I was watching the video and looking through all of these images of celebrities and people that she shot with over the years, the thing I took notice of right away, because we're doing these reviews, is that she breaks a lot of the rules. She crops people in weird places, and she doesn't follow the rule of thirds and the golden mean and all that kind of stuff. She really kind of just goes her own way, and she's had tremendous success in her career and has a wonderful portfolio. So when we offer advice and say that you should crop, try and get people lined up on the grid on the rule of thirds and stuff like that, it really is just a guide to get you started, and it's not meant to bind you into being like a school photographer that does 800 kids in a day. We're not trying to stifle anyone's creativity. You learn the rules just so you can get a basic understanding of what society expects in images, and then you go your own way, do your own thing. Mark, the image that we looked at tonight of yours with the gold paint is a great example of being creative. That is definitely not a typical, it's not the image you would see in your high school yearbook or on a business page somewhere. It's meant to be creative and artistic and expressing yourself in that way. So I don't want anyone to think that we're trying to stifle their creativity. In fact, we admire it and encourage it. So take what we say with a grain of salt, and take what you think is good and apply it to your future work. And the stuff you think is not correct, well, you're just as right as we are. Anyway, with that said, guys, thanks again for coming out and participating, and look forward to doing this again next week.
Yeah, thank
And
you,
break
Bill.
all the rules. Do express yourself, and in the end of the day, I just learned, who cares about likes? Just be creative and break all the rules and have fun being creative. Being an artist.
Don't break too many rules. The COVID police will
Yeah,
come
but
looking for you.
legally, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The no,
Yeah.
once you got a good foundation in photography, then you're qualified to pick and choose what rules you want to bend or break. And just go out and have fun. That's the key.
Yeah.
Have a good
Just
night,
be
gentlemen.
daring.
Thanks again.
You too.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.